We spend our careers building spreadsheets, projecting quarterly earnings, and mapping out 5-year plans. We demand absolute certainty before committing to a high-stakes decision. But when unpredictable chaos hits, these rigid plans shatter. We fall into the trap of overthinking because the reality on the ground no longer matches our forecast. Miyamoto Musashi survived a world where a broken plan meant immediate death. He walked into 60 lethal duels against heavily armed opponents and walked away from every single one undefeated. Musashi documented his strategy in a 1643 manifesto titled The Book of Five Rings. This text functions as a cognitive operating system designed specifically to navigate high-speed chaos. He recognized that attempting to control every variable in a fight is a death sentence. To survive, he had to unlearn the habit of clinging to fixed methods or rigid attachments. To navigate an unpredictable world, he suggests we stop trying to predict the outcome and instead upgrade our mental framework to embrace formlessness. This infographic shows Musashi's strategy as an interconnected system. It begins with the Earth Book. Musashi compares a leader to a master carpenter who must first objectively understand his lumber, his province, and the big picture. Without this grounded, objective assessment of reality, any strategic plan is built on a fragile foundation that will buckle under the first sign of pressure. The Water Book provides the antidote to rigid planning. Musashi observed that water instantly changes its shape to fit whatever container it is poured into, whether a small cup or a vast sea. In conflict, if a competitor or a market shifts abruptly, you cannot afford to force an obsolete plan. You must fluidly bypass the new obstacle by letting your strategy change its shape. Combining the objective grounding of Earth with the flexibility of water allows a strategist to absorb the shock of unexpected disruptions without freezing. The system moves to active execution in the Fire Book. Musashi argues that in both combat and business, winning is a matter of controlling rhythm and energy. He introduces Ken no Sen, or taking the initiative. This means proactively disrupting a competitor's rhythm rather than waiting to react to their moves. A master watches for the exact moment an opponent experiences psychological confusion, then strikes decisively to prevent them from recovering. Execution is balanced by the Wind Book. Musashi's vital rule is that you cannot truly know your own strategy if you have not thoroughly studied your competitors. He critiques those who rely on blind tradition or decorative styles, arguing that we must look for the structural weaknesses hidden within a competitor's specialized habits. Taking the initiative is only effective when it is guided by this deep, objective awareness of where a competitor is vulnerable. This training concludes with the final ring, the void, or emptiness. Musashi defines this not as a passive withdrawal from the world, but as the peak of tactical performance. The void is total clarity beyond confusion. It removes every mental barrier between a person and reality. In this state, conscious technique disappears. The correct action happens naturally because the mind is no longer fighting with itself. Reaching the void means the mind has become the strategy itself. You no longer have to consciously think about your next move. While Musashi's world was defined by the blade, his logic applies to any arena where the cost of hesitation is absolute. He provides a framework for how the brain processes high-stakes shifts in real time. An entrepreneur who watches a flagship product fail and immediately pivots their strategy rather than trying to force their original roadmap is directly applying the fluid logic of the Water Book. Similarly, a leader who detaches from the immediate panic of a crisis to audit the structural health of an entire supply chain is fundamentally using the objective grounding of the Earth principle. We still face the same opening dilemma, the desperate, paralyzing attempt to control every detail of the future. But attempting to predict and control every variable in a chaotic world guarantees failure. The more rigid we become, the more easily we break. We cannot control the market, our competitors, or sudden crises. Musashi proved that survival doesn't require us to. The total, formless adaptability found in these rings offers a far more reliable advantage than the impossible task of predicting the future. Thrive by becoming water.